The final game of the Saturday here at Curtis Granderson Stadium, Les Miller Field on WCSN. Ryan Sikora, Austin Kroom, we're back together. Finally here and finally involved, and we get another chance to look at this Cleveland Guardians club that just willed themselves to victory against the Cubs in the previous game. They take on a Detroit team that's looking for back-to-back wins. They've gathered a bit of momentum. We got a good one on our hands to close it out with a nightcapper.
And there's just something about momentum, Ryan, that you're looking at. You normally try to find a one-up in any situation when you're looking at that tally itself. Both teams had unprobable games. You had one who was up 7, allowed 5, and one that had a 3-hour delay and then basically came back and dominated. So they've both really been locked in. Gotta hope it stays much of the same.
Detroit's been here since 12 noon, and it's E.J. Gregory, Keith Smith Jr., and Jordan Jones, the same three who led off the last game earlier today, lead it off today against Braden Gray, the hard-throwing righty for this Guardians club. The beautiful backdrop, drenched in darkness. You can barely see the backstop without the stadium lights. It's a 1-1 count to E.J. Gregory. Went 1 for 3 in the first game, but played a very crucial part in it offensively. Got them going with an early double and a score in the opening inning in that one. Tigers won it 6-1 after that long rain delay in between. Here's the 1-2. It's upstairs.
And sometimes that's all you need. We had talked just in the last game. You know, we've had gone through our own situations of having multiple hours without going for a pitch. Sometimes it affects people in a negative way. Sometimes it's a positive way.
And Gregory almost bought on that one, but we go full on the first AB of the day. You've been here a long time. You're happy to be here. Jordan Jones, who's on deck, said, "I'm not tired. You can't get tired playing baseball." Here's the 3-2. It's roped into left, and it's grabbed. Juan Figueroa on the defensive side of things, a big-time two-way player for the Guardians, and he gets the first put-out of the evening.
And the fact that he's looking that good defensively, one batter, into this new game, that's a good look for him. And you said it, Ryan. He's a two-way player. He could come in to pitch in an emergency situation. You know he can really pump it.
That one cracked, and Gray working quickly to the righty, Keith Smith Jr., who's in center field for this one. Smith Jr. has been one of the few guys we've been able to see throughout this one as he pops that one about a mile into the air, and underneath it is the first baseman to make the play. It's Jack Burke for the second out of the inning. A ball has yet to leave the infield despite both of them going in the air.
And it looked like Braden Gray, the pitcher, was going to call it himself. As much as if somebody else in the infield is going to call it, you're going to back away. But he had his hands up like he was going to catch it and lost it. You said it, Ryan. It's almost impossible to see the backstop without the lights being on.
It's dark up there. That baseball can get lost. And it gets out of the hands of Gray. And Jordan Jones is the first base run of the day. He takes one off the back of the shoulder, and he's on with an HBP with 2 away in the first.
And being able to pass the bat to Nate Sullivan, the DH, a towering power hitter, you're fine with getting hit in that situation. And with this only being a 5-inning game, you got to move quick.
Got to move fast. Got to get going. Runs early are important. The Cubs are watching on. The 18U Cubs, who just fell 7-5 to this Guardians team. If Detroit can win, Chicago has a chance to put themselves in a big game tomorrow. Sullivan pushes one out into right field. Going back is Zion Lewis. Did he make the play? He did. An unbelievable grab.
Wow.
Take your breath away. Zion Lewis ends the inning with a web gem in deep right.
I don't know if I've seen anything like that. We've been saying, oh, that's at the deepest part of the yard. But that really was. It was almost on the warning track. Hat flies off. Willie Mays-esque catch. Get the salute from the boys.
Give him the heroic tribute. Zion Lewis with maybe the catch of the tournament. It's only the top of the first. 0-0 in the middle of 1. Bottom half of the first. Cleveland makes some noise on the defensive end. How about that catch from Zion Lewis in deep right center? They come to the plate with the sticks in their hands. It's Danny Tome, Andres Martinez, and Jack Burke. The three do up to face Chris Woods, who has pinch hit a pair of times for Detroit in this early pool play. He's going to get the ball on the bump. A lefty-righty matchup to kick us off, or lefty-lefty matchup, rather. And Tome, as patient as you get in the leadoff spot.
And you really have to be. With how well he's been swinging it, his defense, he seems calm, cool, and collective. That last game was like an earthquake-esque appearance to happen. You're in shambles, you're kind of shaken, you don't know what you're doing. But the fact that he's staying level-headed and just going through everything he's got, it's been a bumpy road past couple hours, but he's gone through them.
Pop foul. And we'll go 1 and 2. The rest of the lineup is Juan Figueroa, Caleb Walker, Joyangel Herrera. Jaden Hurd is in right field. He's a new introduction into the lineup. And Leo Ellington and Zion Lewis rounds it out for a Guardians team that's a win away from securing second place. That one flashed out to deep left field, going back and making another grab. What a play from Adrian Epps. The gloves are out in outfield today.
Gold glovers all around and for both sides, Ryan. You don't expect that at all. You've seen in games like this, it's the pitching and it's the bats. They come alive. Sometimes one mistake defensively is what allows a team to get that up and keep moving forward. If the defense looks this way, this could be a situation of whoever scores first is going to win it.
Lefty Woods fires in to Andres Martinez. So two loud cracks in this spacious outfield. It's harder for these high school kids to cover this much ground. Detroit and Cleveland making it look easy, though.
And when I worked for Ohio State baseball just in the fall, you're in a field like this. You go out and you're, from the press box, from the seats, you know it's a large space, but you really don't know the full grasp of it until you're standing dead in the rights and center field trying to shag fly balls for guys taking BP. Something you see coming at you is, oh, that's not too hard. It's going to start dying. And then it keeps carrying. And then you start thinking, I maybe should have turned around and ran for that. So any normal person not playing would be thinking that. Players, they're 5 steps ahead of everybody else.
That's outside. It's a 3-1 count to Martinez, the second baseman. Lineup around Woods today is Davion Williams in the catcher's spot, moving left to right in the infield is Jordan Jones, the third baseman, E.J. Gregory. At the shortstop spot, Deshaun King's a new introduction at second base after that walk, and Cole Waterman is the first baseman. In the outfield, Adrian Epps. In left field, Keith Smith Jr. in center, and Deshaun Williams in right, all supporting Chris Woods, who walks the second batter of this bottom of the first, Andres Martinez.
And I believe that the fact that Detroit is throwing another lefty in Chris Woods, they're trusting their lefties. Not only today, we saw it yesterday, went to a bunch of guys in the game earlier. It was just domination on the pitching side.
Outside to Jack Burke, the third baseman. You bring up the lefty trend going on in the Motor City. Darnell Kemp threw a complete game 2-hitter in a 6-1 win, just about 3.5 hours ago after a long rain delay with 3 hours or so in between. They've been really good today. They deserve to be in this spot. They deserve to be 1 and 2. They look really good.
And do you believe there's a probability that Kemp might come in if need be?
That one's flared out to right. Underneath it is Deshaun Williams for the second out of the inning. They hold Martinez at first. Can he come in with pitch rules?
That's where I'm not sure. I don't have the rule book in front of me, so I believe you would be correct on that sense. But to play devil's advocate here, he pitched yesterday. And he didn't go the greatest with pitching limits and how many he threw. He took himself out after he got the first out of a bottom half of a relief appearance. So that might have something to do with it. But if there is no limit, there might be a chance we see him.
First offering, hit towards the second baseman, who's not there. That one finds the gap from the shortstop, Figueroa. Coming into third and being held there is Martinez. Runners go to the corners with 2 outs for Cleveland. Great piece of hitting from Figueroa.
A perfectly sacrificed hit and run situation. You get Deshaun King to run to second to get the speedster Martinez, just unable to do it. And now you got runners on the corners. The bottom of the first inning, you might as well have it tallied that it's already the fourth if you were playing a full 9-inning game.
So here's Caleb Walker. Left fielder today. Walker in the last one had 2 singles and scored twice. Those were his first 2 at-bats of the game against Chicago. They'll go for a pickoff attempt, and that's just for timing. He ended with a liner to the shortstop in the 4th and a ground out to third base in the 6th. Nobody batted in the 7th for the Guardians. Now he checks the guy at third, so Woods already in a state of disarray, looking left, looking right.
We didn't see that a lot from the Cleveland side of pitching last game. Got to see, Detroit might be antsier as they did have to sit for quite a while waiting for the last game to finish. The Guardians, they might as well just keep adding on innings to the game that they were already playing.
Healthy lead from both runners, and Woods finally throws the ball in there for ball number 1. Walker and then Joyanhel Herrera, a designated hitter in the on-deck circle. 5th batter at the plate in the bottom half of the first here for Cleveland. Lefty-righty. They'll do another pickoff attempt, and Woods keeping the runners honest at least, but with only 1 out to go in this inning, just lock in, yeah?
I agree with you, Ryan. I think you really do have to lock in on the task at hand, that being Walker. Let Figueroa take a bag. There's 2 away.
He does this time, and he's upstairs.
There's no real reason not to let Figueroa just take it. As much as you don't want to in scoring position because something in the outfield score them both. It's not like there is only 1 out to work with. It's not like you're worried about a double play situation. You just need 1 more. So if he's up a bag, okay, now you don't have a guy who's in your peripheral vision dancing and grooving, trying to get into your head.
Conversation now. This is the catcher, Williams, the first baseman, Cole Waterman, and of course Woods on the hill. So you bring in the first baseman there to tell him what?
I think in this situation you tell him, I'm going to hold him, but if you throw over once or twice more, let him have it. Give him free rein.
Catcher starts outside, and looks like Woods missed on his spot as it went inside. It's a 2-1 count, 2 away. And that time it looked like number 23 on the hill was a lot less worried about the man at first.
And he didn't miss by much, which is a good sign as he's starting to lock in with the batter.
2-1. Swings another one, and there it is, 2-2.
And that's the pitch you like to see. You're seeing that Woods really has no care in the world for Figueroa on first anymore.
Anyone after a live score update? The Reds are up 3-0 on the Royals right now at Whitney Young High School. Cincinnati cruising to a date in the championship game tomorrow. The 2-2 got him to swing at it. Walker goes down with a K, and Chris Woods a little shaky, but he gets out of it. We are through 1, 0-0 from Curtis Granderson. Top of the second, 5, 6, 7, Cole Waterman, and then the Williams boys, Deshaun and Davion. Pitcher is still Braden Gray. Or is it? Is that Braden Gray?
I believe it is.
It is. I got confused with the lefty on the other side, Chris Woods. I've not been a fan of the navy blue, lighter colored pant combinations this week in the same game. I know they have to. They're limited to the jersey, and I love that. Can still be confusing.
Oh, I mean, I completely understand that. We've had situations here, Ryan, where the home team is wearing bottom grays.
It's weird.
And my brain doesn't know how to comprehend it.
2-1 to Waterman, who flares one in there. That might drop in the Bermuda Triangle, and it does in left center. Leadoff single for Cole Waterman.
And what I noticed with that AB, Ryan, he used a wooden bat on that, and it sounded like he might have honestly broke it.
They checked on it. They gave it a couple of taps, and
coaches are checking on it now.
I love that. A wooden bat in an 18U RBI game. You're not going to see that probably by anybody else in this tournament.
No,
I don't think we have.
And the way you recognize it is he's going to grip it not as hard as an aluminum bat because of the way it rattles in your hands when you make contact with the ball. And you can clearly hear the sound difference. But I like that move from Cole Waterman.
At the very least, it's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's different. You're setting yourself away and ahead of everybody else, getting ready for that next level.
Swing, and he got a piece of it. Right back into the mid of the catcher, Tome, and that's Deshaun Williams. Back-to-back lefties in this lineup. Tome's the catcher for Gray. Ellington, Figueroa, Martinez, and Burke are the infield left to right around the horn. And Walker, Lewis, and Hurd are the outfielders also going left to right. Braden Gray so far, right-hander. What have you seen?
What I've seen is he's looked comfortable. As much as he's only gone through 4 batters, well, now 5 with Waterman standing on, the fact that he's approaching every batter the same way, he's not trying to do too much, which is what you need in a high-leverage game like this. You need a guy who's able to keep his blood cool, not boil over, and just go right after the hitter.
Chop back. He's getting closer. Deshaun was throwing pregame out in deep right by the poles, and right fielder's got an arm. He can fire it. Can he come up big at the plate here with nobody out? And they try and pick off the runner again, and Waterman is still safe at first.
I'm interested to see how the pickoff moves by way of Cleveland is going to affect the overall defense and timing of Braden Gray. Didn't do it much in the game that just happened against the Cubs.
Ball a little high, and it's 2-2. Third baseman is in, and they've got Waterman on a bit of a run. The throw is high. Did Waterman get there in time? No, he didn't. The first baseman's out at second. And it looked for a second with the high throw that Cole might have had a chance, but good stuff in the end from the second baseman, King.
And it definitely looked like there was a bit of miscommunication from Martinez and Figueroa as well. The fact that you got Waterman caught dead in the rights, he doesn't know what to do. The spotlight's on him. You are able to control that situation. He still almost got in.
Now a different spot for Williams with nobody on. He swings and misses, and in the course of 2 actions, 2 guys go down, and Cleveland back in the ascendancy.
That might have bigger implications than we think, Ryan. This is the second inning. Only 3 more.
Runs matter earlier in this one than they do in a regular game. 7, you got to get runs across the board pretty quickly because it's not 9, but 5 is less than 7. There's more math that we carry over from the last game, and you got to score.
One thing, just by the numbers, if you're going to look at it, Henry and I had talked about it a little bit earlier in softball. You got to win the 1-1 counts. That's the best way to do it. Your 1-1, that's about as evenly lined as you're going to get.
That one on the 0-1 is lined into left center. Underneath it is Lewis, and He covers as much ground as anybody out here. That's a fly ball to center field from Davion Williams. Zion Lewis is the man in the middle out there. It is 0-0, middle 2. Sears and Hancock in your peripheral. Willis, if you want to call it that. It is a 0-0 ball game as we enter the bottom of the second. Joangel Herrera, Jaden Hurd, and Leo Ellington ready to go.
And some Chicago faithfuls not happy about some of the building names that we went against their pride and joy. Kevin Malater already showing us his thumbs down, even to his avail. You're not going to faze me, buddy.
Kevin Malater, our primary A broadcaster, relegated to stats and information today for failure to perform, we'll call
it. that's a joke.
The designated hitter, Herrera. You'll say it's a joke. I won't. He fouls it back on the first pitch he sees. Still Chris Woods out there, the tall lefty.
I'm interested to see the first AB from Adrian Epps. I think he might be able to poke one and start a rally for Cleveland here.
This is very much not Adrian Epps.
It is not Adrian Epps. You're right. They're both number 11.
Adrian Epps
That's
is going to lead
Rivera.
off.
My apologies.
Adrian Epps is going to lead off the top of the third. Austin's way ahead of himself.
I
Austin,
saw 11. My eyes lit up.
If you're already in the top of the third, what happens in the bottom of the second?
Only time will tell. I don't share secrets here.
Lame cop-out answers only.
3 runs.
0-2 to Herrera. That one's hit through the gap. Is it going to sneak through the glove of Gregory? Not quite. Gregory kept it in front, but still safely into first. We're going to give him a single for that one. Herrera leads it off and stands on 1.
Well, if you're going to go by anything, and I made the mistake, if you're going to trust me on anything, I said he might hit it up the middle. He did hit it up the middle, just was not through. So maybe I can tell the future.
E.J. Gregory had his glove on it. It's a tough one to grab, but I'm sure it's one he'll want back. Can't have everything, but oftentimes these guys do want everything. Woods winds, and Hurd was right on top of it, but he chops it back. He's the right fielder in this one. On deck, the third baseman, Leo Ellington. Zion Lewis in the hole. He would round out the order the first time through. Breaking piece tried to slide back in, but couldn't.
I'm wondering when we may see some arms, whether it's warming up in the bullpens in left field. Sometimes you've seen them go towards the other field, like the softball field, Flames field. They'll get some quick tosses in. I wonder when that's going to be ensuing in this one.
That one misses outside as well. It's 2-1. Yeah, that changes the pitching as well, these 5-inning games, as you bring up. Like, are you going to be quicker to pull arms? Are you going to be quicker to rotate and freshen the guy on the hill?
I think in a game like this, you don't have the real opportunity to be able to go through a lineup 3 times. There is that potential that you get to the 5th and you're only going to really stop on about the 6 or 7 guy or 6 guy, and then what? You don't have that opportunity to keep going through. So as much as you don't want to have a quick trigger to pull a guy, if they're not looking the greatest and multiple are on after 2 or 3 batters, they want to.
And it's such a unique situation because both staffs and all the players on either side know the situation. Sometimes you play 5-inning games and you don't know really when you're walking into the game that's what it's going to be. 2-2, swing and a miss, and the second strikeout of the day for Woods on Jaden Hurd. You don't always go into games knowing, hey, this is going to end early. These teams very aware that they only have 5 innings to figure out how to win. So that's going to change up your mental headspace, the speed in which you're going after this game.
And that speed as well, Ryan, 2 hours is the maximum. If it does so happen to be longer, 5 innings for this matchup. So you're working under pressure, but you cannot be in a situation where you start really going, oh my goodness, there's a time limit. I only have this much time. I have to go, 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 go. You have to be relaxed. You have to be a snowman out there. Be cool.
They have snowman in Chicago in July.
Maybe we could find one. Make them with some mud, maybe.
1-0. Be a mud man, as that one's chopped down the first base line and scooped up by the first base coach for Cleveland.
Well, yes, that would be a mud man.
Third base coach for the Guardians had a great little moment post-game with Pedro Hernandez, the pitcher, the starting pitcher for the Cubs in the previous game. They were working on some spots and some techniques on the bump after the game. Again, we've talked about it all day today. RBI is about the players and the young men, and that's a coach from one team coming across to the other, working on something that he wants to get better at. Here's a 1-2. It's upstairs to Ellington.
And Hernandez, he was out there just trying to work on his pitches. He plays a majority of positions like the rest of the guys do, where sometimes you might get the coach going, hey, you're in, good luck. So the fact that you're getting the other coaching staff not only to walk up to you, give you fist bumps, give you the credit, say, hey, you know what? Just relax. You're young, you got time ahead of you, and you're looking good.
And credit to the Cubs staff for allowing that to happen. Sometimes you see opposing coaches pull over your players, and you think twice about letting it happen. And that's strike 3. Caught the bottom corner, and down goes Ellington. What a great dime, dotted up by Chris Woods.
And it seemed that Woods wasn't really going to go the heater on that one. It looked more like a slider, which he's throwing beanbags out there if it's going to get that kind of motion on it. It's like he's playing a game of cornhole.
Runner on first is Herrera, the designated hitter, with 2 outs. In the bottom of the second, your boy is at the plate. Zion Lewis, the center fielder. Had a web gem catch to end the first inning defensively. SportsCenter top 10-esque, and someone will be submitting that to ESPN tonight.
We'll see it on SportsCenter. Do not worry.
1-0 to Lewis. He thought about it, and he went. He more than thought about it.
Caught him biting. You're not going to see that too often, especially now. Even the coaches are unsure. As you're not able to argue balls and strikes, but managerial staff for Guardians Nike RBI is going to try to.
Now he's moved on to the infield umpire, and also maybe Chris Woods, the pitcher. 1-1. That time he definitely swung, and that time the ball definitely hit the glove of the catcher, Davion Williams. So it's 1-2 with 2 outs. To Lewis, one of a handful of college commits on this Guardians roster. Woods checks the runner, and here we go. 1-2 away. Did he look at it? Oh, and Williams behind the plate thought so for sure. That one probably just a little bit wide, and it's 2-2.
Woods had a massive smile on his face, but what I like to see right now, Cole Waterman walk towards the pitcher in the infield. Everyone looked at him. He put his arms out. Tell him to relax. You just need one more pitch. Deuces are wild for it.
Go again. All even. Runner goes. Did he go this time? They notch him up, and they tag him for good measure. Now they'll try and throw over, and Lewis is not happy about it. High stepping his way back to the ump. First base coach will come get his bat and come hold him back. We are through 2. 0-0. Runs matter in a shorter 5-inning game. Nobody's found one yet on WCSN. Back here for the top of the third, Adrian Epps, Deshaun King, and E.J. Gregory, 8-9-1. Adrian Epps, the left fielder, steps up to the plate in the inning he was supposed to step up, and not the inning you thought he was stepping up in.
Well, I'm 100% sure he's up in this one now.
That one gets away, and as we expected, we would still see Braden Gray out here, and we do. Epps in the first game, a nice clean 0 for 3. So he's got something to get going.
You gotta have the memory like a dry erase board. What's on there is from the past. You just get it off any way possible, even if you use the side of your hand, an eraser, anything. It's gone, it's the past, it's not coming back. One foot in front of the other.
What do you think has a worse memory, a goldfish or a dry erase board, as Epps chops one back and we go full?
Probably a wet piece of bread.
So you've brought in a third thing here. So
I'm gonna bring in a fourth.
Today alone you've had dry erase board,
Yep.
goldfish,
Yep.
wet piece of paper.
Wet piece of bread.
Wet piece of bread. A wet piece of paper could work too, I
That's
guess.
so.
3-2. Lined into center field. It's going to get down before it gets to Zion Lewis. And a leadoff single for Adrian Epps.
Good piece of hitting for Epps. It was middle away from him. He really had to wait back that last half second. You saw it in his back right leg, really loading up and just getting the head of the bat out there. Poked it right through.
And these leadoff runners in a game that might not have a lot of time and probably won't have a lot of runs at this rate. Very important. This is Deshaun King, the second baseman wearing number 1 in the right-handed batter's box. The third baseman is in. King shows bunt, pushes it down the first base line. That's perfectly executed. Second baseman comes over to the bag, and he's out of there. That's great coverage from Andres Martinez, and well done from Deshaun King. Moving on over to second and into scoring position, the speedy Adrian Epps.
That was about as textbook as it can get, and that's a great move to see from Deshaun King, realizing, you know, it's already the third. We don't have any time left. We got to start moving. Dropping one down and moving the speedster up in Epps. If I were Cleveland, there might be a chance. Might want to start thinking about bringing somebody else in soon.
And here's E.J. Gregory. E.J.'s the most dangerous guy in this Tigers lineup. That's a good pitch. It's a little low for ball 1. He can swing the stick, E.J. Swing and miss. Gregory, Wilberforce University, class of 2022. He's probably the oldest player you will really see out here in this competition. 1-1 with one out. The runner on second is Epps, and swing and a miss again. And Gregory taking some big cuts, but not quite finding the ball.
He's trying to get him to go fishing, and he did it with 2 breaking balls in a row. He's trying to reel him in, and if he gets it, it could be hook, line, and sinker.
That one misses outside. We even it up.
But seeing him go back to that slider for the 3rd time in a row, it's still down, it's still out. We're going to definitely see a velocity and an eye level change here, especially with one ball to work with.
2-2 from Gray. Pushed out into right field. Is that one going to get down in fair territory? It is. Epps is coming around from third. Gregory's already turning for 3. That's going to be a tough one. They're waving through Gregory. One is in, and Gregory stands stable at third base. Toys with the third baseman Ellington. RBI triple. E.J. Gregory.
Tried to go to the same pitch did Braden Gray, and E.J. Gregory said, I'm going to let the big dogs eat. Thank you so much for this one, and just pokes it down the line. Big bowl of cereal for him on that one, getting the first run of the game. Who knows, Ryan, if only one comes in and the pitchers are locked down, that could be the dagger.
Keith Smith Jr., the center fielder, steps in. Only one out. Gregory's 90 feet away. 2 should cross in the inning if you're Detroit. That's a good first pitch, though, from Gray, and it's an 0-1 count.
And 2 need to cross in this inning. If you only have it in a situation where it can be tied, one team's going to get angry and at least put up 1.
Insurance always important, but maybe more so tonight.
Definitely tonight.
That one got away from Braden Gray.
And we saw the 7-run lead that the Guardians had last time, and the Cubs put up 5 of their own, and it was really that close. You could see the tides were starting to turn, but able to lock in. You can't do that with just 1 run up there if you're the Tigers.
That one down low, hit home plate. Firm left hand from Smith Jr. to hold. His good old buddy at third, E.J. Gregory, the shortstop right now playing the hero. He's 90 feet away. It's a 2-1 count to Keith Smith. Gray, with the infield playing in, and time is called by Keith Smith. Wide open stance from Smith Jr. Whacks one towards the shortstop. Gregory's got a hold on the shortstop. Figueroa dropped the ball. And an E6 puts runners on the corners. Figueroa thought too much about it.
And you can't think too much about it. You got to be fluid. You have to be natural. The moment you start thinking about what you're doing, as crazy as this may sound, you start to overthink and nitpick every minor detail. Only bright side of this, traditional double play is in order if Smith Jr. isn't running.
And that's Jack Figueroa making that kind of mistake.
The most sound guy out there in the middle infield.
Jordan Jones was plunked on the back of his left shoulder in the first inning. And is he calling time? As you said, anything up the middle on the ground has double play potential. That one's up and away for ball 1. Gray trying to settle after his defense couldn't give him any help on the last AB. The runner goes. Here comes Smith Jr. standing up at second. And the double play, at least conventionally, is taken away. Both guys in scoring position.
I like the play on both sides. Smith Jr., you got to get the conventional double play out of the way. But Juan Figueroa, the fact that he knew in this situation he has to get there before the throw gets to the second base bag. So a good cutoff to make sure that the runner doesn't get in from third.
Under the floodlights. It's all about feel. It's a game of feel. Jordan Jones trying to feel out the situation on a 2-0 count with 1 out. Runners both in scoring position. And that one is outside. It's a 3-0 count. 2-1 counting. Doesn't count the corner. Didn't get a clear sign from the umpire from our vantage. The 2-1 working quickly. That's upstairs, and that third ball comes anyway.
And Ryan, it was a bit of a late call. The ball was already back in the glove of Gray when he finally called the strike.
First is empty. Here's the 3-1. Swing and a miss. Jordan Jones, we go full.
He's trying to send it over the scoreboard in left center field. Just got to make sure that if you're going to swing, your shoes are tied. You can't swing out of them.
All important second out needed for Cleveland. It's 3-2, 1 away. Detroit have already had 1 cross here in the top of the third. The pitch fouled off. We'll do it again.
Might be the most important battle of the entire day, maybe of the entire baseball side of the tournament.
7th pitch of the at-bat. Cleveland win. They move on to the final tomorrow. Detroit wins, and the Cubs are still alive in this bracket. The payoff, he looked right at it. And Jones gives a look, a little bit of a side eye back to the home plate umpire, but that's the second out of this third inning.
Well, if you're going to call a strike, you might as well call it high and tight and start setting the pace of what is going to be that strike call up. But to no surprise, Braden Gray, he was into this one 2 2/3. It's about time.
Have to have a short leash in this kind of contest. It's a close game. You can't let it get blown open. We'll see what happens. Maybe they aren't going to take him out. They are intentionally walking Nate Sullivan here.
I believe that's the first time I've seen that in the 2 years that we've been broadcasting these games.
And Sullivan's the curious one. He has the appearance of an individual who has a lot of pop, and he has only really once this tournament broken that open at Curtis Granderson. He's a grand total of 1 for 5 over the 2 games we've gotten a chance to watch Detroit, and Gray stays out there, so they load the bases, and that brings up Cole Waterman, who had a single and is 1 for 1 today in the second.
But there's a certain situation like this, Ryan. You say Sullivan's got that pop of a power hitter. Right now, doesn't matter how much power he's got, he's going to put on his Icarus wings and he's going to start flying.
That one's upstairs. And normally in response to an Icarus statement, I'd say you can't fly too close to the sun, but it's run on contact here. You've got nothing to lose.
Sun could be your best friend or could bite you.
You're getting too deep into the web. It's 1-0. It's Waterman pushing it high into the sky. That's going to be inside the Guardians' dugout, and it was almost playable. Another 2 or 3 feet of dirt behind the grass in front of the dugout, and Ellington and the catcher Tome were right there.
And when I mean the sun, I mean the lights. It's hard to see with the haze and where it goes into the sky, so something that you could see as routine might end up dropping and getting a couple in.
You know, good recovery on the analogy. Still a C+.
C's get degrees.
It's true.
It is true.
1-1 to Waterman. Bases loaded, 2 outs. The lefty crowding the box. And they both back off. Gray gets his pitch. They'll try a pickoff attempt. It's almost over the head. And listen, I get it. You can get out of the inning. That's the plus. But the negative is one guy's coming in, and in a game that's as short as this, runs are premium.
I really don't understand that at all. You let the guy take the lead. Who cares? He can't go anywhere. No one is going to steal home in this close of a situation with 2 away.
1-1. Waterman swing and a miss.
Because what if he threw a strike instead of throwing back to second? That would be a punch out. That's where you just got to start thinking about it. Got to play 4D chess.
Everybody's on a bag. Waterman steps back in. 1-2 in the top of the third in this 5-inning contest. Gray, the righty, toes the first base side of the rubber, and we go. It's inside, and we go deuces. Cleveland wins. They're in the championship game tomorrow. Detroit wins, and Chicago has a chance to be there. 2-2. Upstairs, right at the neck of Waterman, and we go full. The bases are loaded. There's 2 outs, and this has the feel of a 7th or an 8th inning type of pitch in this shortened game. Sullivan's on first. Smith Jr.'s on second, and E.J. Gregory stands 90 feet away. Gray, the payoff. Swing and a miss from Waterman. Cleveland hang on. Detroit get a run, but that is a big old pitch from Gray.
That is the most electric at-bat we have seen in the past few days. And this was the matchup a few days ago where the Tigers lost watching strike 3 past them in a game that if they had won it, they could be sitting pretty. But with that 1 run up, you don't know what's going to happen going to the bottom of the third.
Here, bottom of the third, a massive punch out to close it out from Braden Gray. And here we are. It's only a 1-run game, Austin. And it's the top of the order for the Guardians.
I really would like to see the approach here from Danny Tome. It's a lefty-lefty matchup, so the pitcher could be seen with the advantage. But you know exactly what you're getting with Tome. You're getting discipline, you're getting patience, and you're getting a mixture of that good contact and power push.
I get the sense that Danny Tome is one of your 2 or 3 favorite players in the field this week as he gets contact on that one, pushed towards King, the second baseman, takes his time. Tome almost legged it out, but it's 1 up, it's 1 down, and every out inches the Tigers, who have the advantage, closer to the finish line.
But you can see why watching Tome do what he does is so remarkable, and he's one of my favorites to watch just this past few days, is because on a supposed easy grounder, he's running a hard 90 just to get down there.
Andres Martinez, the second baseman, lefty-righty now, and tried to go outside, caught the edge. Big leg kick, Martinez swings and misses, and Chris Woods starting to feel himself.
He's got that 1-run lead. As much as it's not a lot, that allows you to just play the ball you know. And there's something about that. When you're tied and when you're up, the feel is different.
Swing and a miss on 3 pitches. Martinez goes down. Woods is getting into the rhythm. And this one's starting to feel a lot like the one these two teams played last night. It was a 3-2 win for the Guardians. You talked to Tigers coaches, and they gave us the very polite, professionally, we win that game. And they felt like they had a chance. They felt like they were maybe a couple of close calls away, and they had a chance at the end with the bases juiced, only down a run, and they struck out looking to close it out. So they feel like they're very much in this contest. Another swing and a miss as the new batter is Jack Burke, the first baseman.
And they rightfully are, Ryan. It seems like they are in the driver's seat for this one. You could see the heart monitors and heart rate might be going up a little bit more for Guardians RBI right now.
0-1 from Woods. Did that one catch the corner? No, it didn't. After a leadoff single in the second to Joyangel Herrera, it's 5 straight retired for Woods, 4 of them of the strikeout variety. That one's chopped foul, and it's a 1-2 count.
And he's just locating and dotting any way he wants to. You saw that one was a heater outside, would have been on the black if it wasn't fouled off by Burke. He could go with anything here at this point, and I don't know if Burke is going to be ready for any of the pitches in his repertoire.
Woods on a 1-2. He's got his last 5 out. This with 2 away in the third. Hit high and hit hard towards the right fielder, Williams, who slides and makes the play. 6 straight silenced for the Tigers, riding the back of the big man on the bump. It's 1-0 Detroit through 3. Back in on WCSN for the top of the 4th, Ryan Sikora, AC, Austin Kroom, alongside the journey at Les Miller Field on the campus of the University of Illinois, Chicago. 6, 7, 8, Deshaun Williams, Davion Williams, and Adrian Epps. The 3 due up for Detroit. Just a couple of outs away on the defensive side, and a couple more insurance run would mean the world for the Tigers, Nike RBI club.
And you know the club up from Motown is going to do everything they possibly can to dance their way into a potential of the championship tomorrow.
You're getting too much with these puns, bro.
I'm just having fun, man.
Score update from the Reds-Royals game at Whitney Young. The Reds improved to an undefeated 4-0 with an 8-0 win over the Royals. Kansas City falls to 0-4. So they'll be in the championship game. Cincinnati has booked their ticket. They've looked the best of the bunch, and in all honesty, the Guardians for most of this day, most of this tournament, have looked second best, but they need to win to get in. If they win tonight, they're into the title game. It's locked up between the 2 Ohio teams, and there's a 4-pitch walk for Deshaun Williams to lead it off. If Detroit can pull it off and avenge the loss from last night, then that makes it a matchup between the Cubs and the White Sox. Again, same as the opener on Thursday night. The winner of that one gets into the championship to play Cincinnati. Lots at stake.
There's definitely a lot at stake. Is to no surprise, the Guardians bullpen is going to start getting active. You never know when you're going to have somebody to get in, especially after a 4-pitch walk.
Detroit, on the other hand, seem very content to ride Chris Woods, and why wouldn't you? They try a pick-off attempt, and Williams is stuck there. Davion Williams is at the plate. Deshaun at first. For now, it's Braden Gray's ball. His team down 1-0. That's a good pitch. It should be in there for a strike, and it is. Detroit trying to go home happy. They started 0-2, 2 tough losses on Friday night. A great pitching performance from Darnell Kemp. This afternoon, I suppose it turned into the evening in the end, as he went all 7, allowed 2 hits and a 6-1 win. And a swing and a miss, and the runner's going to go. They're going to try and get there, and he is way behind. He's way out of there. A hose from Tome behind home plate, and that's the first out of the inning.
And that was even a good throw by Tome on a dirty slider. That might have been the slowest pitch he's thrown today, had the most break, bite, and hook, whatever you want to call it. The fact that he was still able to transfer that from a knee. You don't teach that. That's purebred athleticism.
Tome, a class of 24 kid, still uncommitted. Come find him, recruiters. 1-2, got a piece of it. And Davion Williams will stay alive in this at-bat with the bases empty. They've gotten a great pitching performance today, following up that Kemp performance earlier. Chris Woods has been really, really darn good. Gray's not been too bad himself, but they're starting to warm him for him. Hit hard into the gap, a base hit down the left side, and a little bit of a flick of the wrist running to first from Davion Williams. You love to see it if you're a Detroit fan. There's 1 on with 1 away.
And he did that because Gray went back to that slider again. This time it didn't have as much tumble, so hung a little bit, so just able to pull it into left. So you have to feel good after he gets you on 2 of them and gets your lead runner at that point out.
And they should be giving him a courtesy runner here, and they will, as we try and work a number on that. It should be Darnell Kemp. And Kemp, who pitched the phenomenal outing just 2 games prior. That one comes back, and they've got to worry about him right away. So this is Adrian Epps, the left fielder, represents the game's only run so far, singled and scored in the 3rd. And he lines that one right to the third baseman. It's bobbled, and what a weird one. And they're going to get 2 guys. They're going to get them both, because the third baseman, Ellington, dropped the ball, and Kemp thought that it had happened, and he's going to go to second now after all the confusion here. And look at the upset face of Martinez. They should have had 2.
They should have 2. The fact that Ellington dropped it, he realized, you know, the runner in Kemp isn't moving, so throw over to first. That's where you get Epps, and you tag Kemp. He had nowhere to go. He was in no man's land. But the fact that the play was called dead and there was still movement, bit confusing, but rightfully so. Should have been the double play, and it was.
Yeah, because they tagged him on the path. That's a double play to end the inning. It's a weird one, but it's huge for Cleveland. Still 1-0. They've got a chance in the bottom of the 4th on the Windy City Sports Network. 5-6. Dead set middle of the lineup. Juan Figueroa, Caleb Walker, and Joyangel Herrera. Here in the bottom of the fourth inning, we're running out of time. We only get 5. Detroit hanging on, 6 outs away.
And the fact that Figueroa hit in the first inning and now won't get his second AB until the fourth shows how dominant Chris Woods and the rest of the Detroit Tiger defense has really been in this. Holding one of your better guys and the cleanup guy to 1 AB for more than 90% of the game is unheard of.
5 strikeouts through the first 3 innings. He's retired his last 6. The last man to get a hit on him was Herrera, and the second who bats third in this frame. No defensive changes for Detroit. That one's flown out to right field. That's going to be playable, but it's going to drop down for a base hit in front of Deshaun Williams. And a leadoff single to break the drought for Juan Figueroa. He's 2 for 2 today.
The only guy at that point who's been on twice for the Guardians Nike RBI squad.
Brings up Caleb Walker. Struck out swinging to strand Figueroa in the first. Shows bunt there.
Being able to hear that the entire dugout is screaming bunt, they realize everyone has to be dialed in on this AB. And you're already seeing it defensively. Jones is playing in like 4 steps over the lip of the infield grass.
Every base counts. Every out counts. Can't get caught stealing, but you can't let somebody steal an extra bag. That's why the base runner is so important. That one is upstairs in Woods, perhaps a little too concerned with Figueroa at first, and it's a 2-0 count to the left fielder Walker.
And it's getting late in the night for both squads. They've been here for a majority of their day. You don't know how much they all have left in the tank, but the fact that they've made it this far, they can't give it up.
2-0 count. Detroit's been here since noon. It's bunted hard down the first base line. That's going to be an easy tag for Waterman. Walker does his job, and Figueroa moves into scoring position with 1 away. He's the tying run in the bottom of the fourth.
And that's textbook. Now you have a speedster and Figueroa already in scoring position. You hit a little bloop shot, it's a tie game.
This is Joyangel Herrera. Single to lead off the second. Loudest the Guardians fans have been this evening. And there's some communication behind the dish.
Seeing Williams tell Deshaun King at second, leave him. Don't worry about it, play straight up.
Inside, gets away from the catcher. And Davion Williams lost it on a passed ball and moving to third. Only 1 out there, a sacrifice fly away from tying it. Figueroa 90 feet from home. And Detroit's calling time.
The implications of that, Ryan. You see Davion Williams, the catcher, telling his infield, don't worry about it, and then something comes to him, and it just goes right through his glove. And now there's a guy 90 feet away, and you don't have that insurance to be able to go, you know what, we've allowed them to get 1. We're still up. It's really late in this one. It's now bottom 4.
What's the conversation here? Is it a personal pick-me-up for the man on the bump, or is it a situational awareness defensively? It's more likely than not a little bit of everything.
I'm pretty sure you're going to be right on that. It's probably a mixture of everything. But you need to realize the coaching staff is going to go out there and go, guys, look, you have been so dominant all day. The game before this and even this game right now. What is going on? There's a runner on. Okay, He's 90 feet away from scoring. That's fine. Focus on the task at hand, that being Rivera. You got to go one at a time. They're not in a situation where they have no outs. And you see it, all the infield playing in. They know what's going on. If there's anything in the infield, you look the guy back. You get the easy one at first. My guess is something along the lines of, lock in, guys. You've done it earlier. Why can't you do it now? Nothing's stopping you.
The slightly darker blue shirt of Juan Figueroa is at third. The Tigers are playing in on the corners and in everywhere on the infield. It's 1-0 to Joyangel Herrera. Everybody up against the boards in the dugouts. The 1-0 upstairs.
Cole Waterman has to be way ahead of his years. He's starting already down by the time he gets into that jump, so he doesn't have a 0.5-second awareness to go off of. He's already ready.
It's 2-0. It's slapped up the middle where nobody is. It's a tie game in the bottom of the fourth. RBI single, Joyangel Herrera.
You can play infield in all you want, Ryan, but when you hit a smoke show right up the middle, no one's going to be able to get to that.
Figueroa scores, and it's 1-1 with one away. And they will pinch run for Herrera. As we look for a number on this one, we think it could be Daniel Ramon, 2024. Runner on first is the courtesy runner Ramon for Herrera, who drives in Figueroa. It's a 1-1 game. A run in the top of the third for Detroit, a run in the bottom of the fourth for Cleveland. And Woods, who's been flawless today, has to pick himself up off the canvas. Because of the pace that this game has moved along at, we won't have to think about the 2-hour time limit. This game will get to 5. That one comes barreled off the bat, off the face mask of the catcher, and this is Jaden Hurd, the right fielder.
And yes, you do say that. You don't necessarily have to worry about it, but Ryan, in this situation, right now it's booked to go to extras if Detroit is not able to put up one of their own.
We'll get more on that. Will they play extras is maybe the question.
That is also
just
the question.
Ended at 5. That's been a discussion throughout the day up here with all the executive staff.
Then what happens?
0-1 to Hurd, who's 0 for 1 today with a strikeout. He lines that one towards Gregory, the shortstop. They'll go easy at the 1 spot. They got 1, they got 2! Tigers stand tall. It's 1-1 through the 4th inning. What a play. Way to turn 2. We're in a 1-1 game in the top of the 5th, representing as the 7th and final inning of regular play here. How about that double play to end the fourth from E.J. Gregory? And now he's in the on-deck circle to start this one off. It's 9-1-2 for Detroit. We will play extra innings if tied after 5.
So in that situation, you don't want to go to extras. Nobody ever does. But if that's what it comes down to, you do have that extra chance if you're Detroit, if you're not able to tag one on here right now.
Both teams coming out cautious or swinging their hearts out?
I think you got to start off cautious and then use your conscience to start really hitting it if you get a runner or two on.
King takes that one. Hits that one right back to the pitcher. It's a strong glove from Gray, who's still out there and 1 up, 1 down in the top of the 5th.
That was no easy play for Braden Gray. Not only did he have to jump quite a ways and get his glove up, he stuck the landing perfectly, and that's just half the battle. Then you got to get a good throw to first. He threw a seed to Jack Burke.
Back to the top for the shortstop, E.J. Gregory. RBI triple his last time up in the 3rd. 1 for 2 today with 2 hard hit balls. One to right field that got to the pole. That was the triple. And 1 line out to the shortstop. It was all the way back in the 1st. It's a 1-1 count. We will see Keith Smith Jr., who's the second hitter in this lineup. That one goes down the third base line and lands in the glove of Ellington in foul territory.
And you could just see from E.J. Gregory, that was an emergency last-second decision hack. He just didn't know what to do with it. He saw that that slider was going to dip into the zone, and he couldn't be stuck there watching it.
1-2 for Gray, who's survived some bullpen work, but he throws that one right into the side of E.J. And with 1 out, the go-ahead run reaches the base path.
The threat to steal with E.J. Gregory as well, Ryan,
is high.
Very high. And you can already see the middle infield of Figueroa and Martinez. They're playing closer to the bag. They're expecting it.
He's got 3, 4, 5, 6 steps at first. This is going to be close, and he's safe. He started 3 or 4 steps off and then took a 5th and then took a large 6th.
And that almost killed him there. That was almost it.
But he worked his way back.
Luckily.
The center fielder, Keith Smith. And they'll go again. It's another close one.
And Detroit wants a balk call. They're adamant about that. All of them hands up.
Stay loud if you're that dugout on this first base side for Detroit. Gray's going to lock in, and he throws that one in the dirt. And they've got the chance to get Gregory in no man's land, and the throw was poor, and the second baseman Martinez couldn't hang on anyway. And it was weird, but it works for E.J. Gregory.
It doesn't have to be clean, Ryan. As long as you get the outcome you want, you don't always have to use the same math problem to get the answer to that problem. Runner in scoring position now. Anything in the right side of the infield, you got a guy 90 away.
He got the leadoff. He didn't get the jump, but he got a little bit of help from the throw from Tome behind the dish. Smith is ahead 1-0. Anything in the outfield, and Gregory's probably being waved through. That's a liner. Is it going to get into the glove of Lewis? It is, and Gregory tags. It's a long throw, slides in safely into third. He's 90 feet away, and that's the second out of the inning.
Even that was a risk, running on the arm of Zion Lewis. You know he's got good range, Ryan. He's had some really good outfield assists between last year and some of the cutoff throws he's had. Just able to get a good jump, but it's all down to Jordan Jones.
It lays on the big, broad shoulders of the third baseman. Class of 2024 from Detroit Edison High School. 90 feet away is E.J. Gregory, the leadoff man. The first offering is inside the strike zone. It's run on contact for Gregory. Base hit gives Detroit the lead. That one's outside. And we go 1-1. Gray, who's gone the 5 innings, misses there, and Jones has a hitter's advantage.
And in this situation, if you're Detroit, you cannot leave Gregory stranded there. As much as there is still the opportunity to go to extras, the Guardians are still moving on old motivation.
3-2-1 ball is flown into right field, and the inning ends. Detroit strand a man at third, and we go to the bottom of the 5th. Cleveland, all they need is one. They can walk it off and book their spot in the ship on WCSN. Bottom of the 5th, walk-off territory for the Guardians. 8-9-1, due up for Cleveland. Leo Ellington, Zion Lewis, and Danny Tome, the catcher, all in prime position to win it for Cleveland. That one got behind Ellington. Did it graze him? They say no, that's ball 1. Had a slightly longer pause in between the half innings. The umpires were kind of curious as to what the operation was going to look like after the 5th inning. We are going to go to extras if we remain tied. We will play till 2 hours or till somebody wins.
We were all in that situation of being a bit unsure. But now that we know and they know, anything's possible.
Up the middle, into the glove of Gregory, collects and throws, and there's the first out of the bottom of the 5th. Cleveland need one, and they book their bag to the ship. For teams like Chicago, both the White Sox and the Cubs, they are firmly on the backs of Detroit. If Detroit wins, we have a crosstown classic tomorrow morning. The winner of that one gets Cincinnati in the title game for 18U. There's a bunt shown by the speedy Lewis, and he pulled away in time for ball 1.
And Cleveland knows all about this situation, Ryan. They were in the same spot some of the other teams are in at this point, specifically the Cubs. They're watching this going, we need you to win right now for our chances to even have a shot at Cincinnati. Can only imagine how they're feeling.
1-0 to Lewis, who unloads one into the gap in center. It's going to get through. A base hit with one out for Zion Lewis. And the winning run is on the base path.
Speed threat to the tee here.
Comes a Detroit coach to have a conversation. Chris Woods has been really good. He lost a little bit of his magic in the bottom of the 4th and now has been put in a tough spot here in the bottom of the 5th. If you were the head man of this Detroit Tigers Nike RBI team, they're clearly making the decision to keep Woods out there. You making the same decision?
I'm having a guy warm up just in case. And that's the situation you're in. You got a runner on first, that being Zion Lewis. You know he's a speedster, but he's a lefty. So you're able to look him back and have an easy pickoff move, but there's got to be that emergency guy just in case.
Lewis can fly. Tome's got pull power to right field. He's the leadoff man. If it's pushed out there, I imagine Lewis is going for home. One out in the bottom of the fifth. The winning run is on first, and Woods is troubled by that fact as he looks off Zion Lewis. We've played for a little over 80 minutes. Smacked foul. Rifled to the soccer fields here at UIC.
Interested to see what Woods goes with here. You said got that pull power, but maybe try to jam him, get him to roll something over.
3 cities and 4 systems riding on this one. Maybe count Cincinnati as a 4th city and a 5th team that will be looking on. Maybe Minnesota as well. There's a lot of teams in the hunt. Cleveland can win it and make it easy math. Detroit can make it hard on everybody with a win today. And Lewis still causing problems for Woods.
And this is a situation that if the piñata is busted open, you don't know what's going to fall out of it. It could be any one of those teams.
Someone's going to party tonight. The 0-1 whacked into left field for a base hit. Danny Tome, back-to-back singles for Cleveland.
Keep passing the batons. Davion Williams is already calling attention to that pitch. He said, that's my bad. It must have been his call that Tome was able to get on. The fact that he's already taking that approach and saying, you know what, I'll do better next time. I'm very interested to see the approach between the battery partners for the remaining few pitches.
And Williams is going to go talk to his boys in the dugout, maybe get an equipment swap here. They might be changing catchers. I don't know what's going on here, and I think they are.
And we saw that yesterday in the game of KC against Detroit. There was a catching switch, or no, Cubs against Detroit, excuse me, the catching switch. And it was in the 2nd inning.
As they sit and talk, and they work on the catcher swap, we will go to a quick intermission. It's a 1-1 game. The winning run's on second base. Cleveland have a chance to walk it off. Just 2 more outs needed for Detroit. 2 runners on for Cleveland, and a new pitcher has entered the game. Zaire Clements will replace the catcher, Davion Williams, because he's on the hill now in the biggest spot of Detroit's tournament so far, and really this is their last shout, so their tournament flat out. He throws a fireball in there, and you said it in the break, he's lights out.
And that's exactly why you have him out there, Ryan. You said it, a fireballer. He's going to go out there and just be high velocity, high velocity, high velocity, and then he might throw in a breaking ball or two, maybe a changeup. So he's got a lot with him.
Tough task for Andres Martinez to be the first guy to face him. 1-1. And Martinez wrapped around, and that's the heat getting to him. Runner on first is Danny Tone, the leadoff batter. Zion Lewis is at second. He's got speed. If it's in the outfield, he can push around and go and score and win this game. Righty Williams sets from the first base side. Flamethrower, it's hit towards the shortstop Gregory. It's a long throw, it's a short throw, and he's out. Talk about a pick out from the first baseman Waterman.
And he had a few innings earlier, Ryan, where you said he was the only defenseman who was needed because he's doing it all. That was the saving grace for Detroit's defense. The fact that he could pick it as well as he did saved the game.
And that's 2 outs, so that means anything ends the inning. There will be no sacrifice fly. You've got to get a hit. And it's down to Jack Burke, the first baseman. Williams winds. Burke swings and misses. This is a lot of fun to watch Davion Williams. Righty-righty. 2 guys in scoring position with 2 outs. Burke hits one slowly to Gregory. He winds, he throws, he's out of there. Extra innings on the way on Saturday night. A beautiful, beautiful relief effort from Davion Williams, and it is 1-1 through 5. We're going to play free baseball here in Chicago. Four, 5, 6 in the 6th inning. That's extras for this one. Special little lightning delay caused us a lot of time to be lost today, so they relegated this 5th and final game of the day to 5 innings. We will play till 2 hours or until somebody wins. Ryan Sakura, Austin Kroom, we've got plenty of time to spare. We've been live for about an hour and a half, so 30 minutes or so to work with, and it's Nate Sullivan, Cole Waterman, and Deshaun Williams, the 3 due up in the top half of this inning.
And there's going to be that ghost runner on second. The MLB rules are applied, so if you don't get a guy in here, could be wraps.
Try and get an ID on that number. Sullivan, that one goes over his head and behind the glove. And did it nick Sullivan? It did. He didn't duck out of the way in time, and that costs a spot on third for Jordan Jones. Sullivan's at first. Jones is at second. And nobody's out, and will they give the designated hitter Sullivan a courtesy runner?
They could give him a courtesy runner. He is the DH. So if they do that, he won't be taken out.
So it's ruled a hit by pitch. And Sullivan will run for himself. This is Cole Waterman, who's been your favorite player on Detroit's defensive side of things, trying to come up. He's 1 for 2 today. Last time up, he struck out looking to end the 3rd inning. There's a lot of hoopla around that one. And he watches ball 1 go low across his legs.
I believe that Waterman is going to have the most patient at-bat within the last 3 innings.
He swings on that one. It's stopped by the first baseman, Burke, and then he throws it high, but they step on the bag. And now they tag him, and they've got to hold Jones there, but did they tag him in time? What's going on?
It's not a forced runner at second. He has to tag Sullivan, and he didn't. So that was just the fielder's choice. There's 2 runners in scoring position.
Unbelievable. Waterman's out. That's the first out of the inning. Sullivan's at second. And the man who started the inning at second base is Jordan Jones. He's 90 feet away with only 1 out on the board.
So as much as that was such a crazy play, Ryan, that might have been the best outcome on that screamer that stayed in the infield. It looked like it would have been textbook, a grounder to Burke, step on first, throw to second. And that is the situation where you hold the breadbasket in front of him and just poke him.
And they will now give the courtesy runner for Sullivan. It's Ace Royster, who we've seen a bunch today. And here comes Cleveland to talk it out. Jones at third, Royster at second. Those two going to go have a conversation. 2 class of 24 guys, both students at Detroit Edison. One of them represents the go-ahead run at third. That's Jones, and the other could be crucial insurance at second in this extra inning 6th.
And when you just read what's going on, Ryan, we've always talked about baseball is a game of feel. And that feel was to try to get that double play as easy as you possibly can. There's just so much going through your mind right now. You are so focused on everything going on. It's like a camera flash goes off and you don't know what's happening. And that's exactly what happened with Figueroa at shortstop. Didn't realize it, and Detroit is going to take advantage of that.
Looks like Detroit's 15U team just showed up. At the plate, the right fielder, Deshaun Williams. 0 for 1 today. Last time up, he was walked. Gray is still the pitcher through 5 1/3. That one is outside for ball 1. Strikeout would be massive here for Cleveland. Got a long way to go for Gray. Righty-lefty matchup. Outside again. Can I ask you the question, you feel like with 1 out already on the board, Cleveland might be better served to put a runner on first base?
Yes, they would, but I believe that if the runner gets to first, it's going to be the end of the night for Braden Gray. Somebody's warming up.
2-0, breaking piece. Did it sneak back in? It did. It's 2-1.
And there's only so much time you can have Gray in. Technically, extras only being the 6th inning. But in a regular 7-inning game, he's gone most of the distance. He's got to be getting close to being really tired.
The 2-1. Swung on and pushed foul, and we go even. This gloomy night in the Windy City in mid-July. It's been rainy all day. There's been lightning every step of the way. 2-2. 90 feet away is the go-ahead run. That's upstairs. We will have a full count. Gray's got to throw his best pitch. Whatever it is, he's got to find a way with 1 out on the board. The only base that's empty is first. Choked up on the bat. The right fielder, Deshaun Williams. The payoff from Gray. Williams slowly down the first baseline. Gray scoops it up and tags, and coming in to score is Jones. There's a play at the plate, not in time! Jordan Jones slides in. The Tigers have the lead in the top of the 6th.
Jordan Jones waited until the right moment, and as soon as you saw Burke had hold of it, he thought that might have been it for the inning, and immediately dashes towards home and gets in under a perfect throw.
Brilliant base running from the man who plays third base. Jordan Jones right now has given Detroit a lead. Royster stays at second. There's 2 outs in this one, and here's Davion Williams, the pitcher, who's being told to button up his shirt, I believe.
I believe he's being told to put his chain under his shirt. Playing with some flair, though. I do like it.
2-1 lead. Gray still here, and Williams uncorks one, but it flies straight on back over the box here at Granderson. Damage limitation time for Cleveland. They only need 1 out. There's a runner in scoring position at second, and they will get to bat no matter what in the bottom half of this frame. Juan Figueroa, Caleb Walker, and Joyan Herrera, 4, 5, 6, due up when they get there. There's a couple of changes. Both coaches come out. They want to communicate and figure it out. Davion Williams caught this whole game, has flip sides on the battery. To pitch in these extra innings, trying to help his own cause, give him some more insurance on the offensive end. And he puts it in the same spot he put the last foul ball. It's 0-2.
A straight protection approach. That's what you got to have in this situation. He's being thrown outside from Gray. Could expect to see one inside here. Try to get him under it.
Gray ahead. 0-2. He goes inside, and he gets a piece of Williams, who flips the bat. Gave some words to catcher Tome, and now there's 2 on with 2 outs, and up steps Adrian Epps.
Some words from Tome there to Davion Williams.
Giving it right back.
Could be in the ways of bad blood. We saw that the one pitch behind Nate Sullivan actually clipped him.
This is a late night. Up and in for ball 1 to Epps. 10:46 local time, 11:46 on the East Coast. This Central Regional's been a treat, and we get to close out the final day of pool play on Saturday with the grandest candy of them all. And they almost got Williams at first. Hands on hips. Ready and revving to go. Royster still at second. He hasn't moved since replacing Sullivan as his courtesy runner. He's too tall. And Epps is ahead 2-0. And he gets Epps on the backside. The bases are full.
And you can see that Braden Gray immediately signals to his bench and goes, "Get me out. I'm not feeling comfortable, or something feels wrong."
What to do with Gray? This is already the 3rd or 4th mound meeting. I think they're going to plug him. We've got a man waiting patiently in the pen. It's 2-1 Detroit. They've got 2 on with 2 away in the top of the 6th. We'll be right back and see what the Guardians decide to do. Tell him to bring out the reliever. Sam Robinson comes in, a masterful performance from Braden Gray, and with 2 on and 2 away in the top of the 6th, it's go time for Robinson right on into the thick of it, and the Guardians can't afford to give up much else.
And the youngest and shortest guy on the roster has been given the biggest shoes to fill. Let's see if he's going to be able to do it. He's been warming up for quite a minute, Ryan. He looks ready to go.
Robinson, the only class of 25 on the Guardians roster. He's being placed into the biggest spot of Cleveland's season. They win, they're in the championship game. They lose, they don't get to go.
And if they go, it's another battle for Ohio like we saw last year.
Last year it was Cleveland and Cincinnati essentially dueling it out for the right to play the White Sox and eventually usher in the eventual World Series champions through to the World Series itself. But this year, they could be playing for all the marbles. Cincinnati's already booked their spot. Cleveland can join them. They just need to hold them to 1 run here in the 6th and keep it a 2-1 score, get the sticks back in their hands. Runners on 1st and 2nd. That's Royster at 2nd. It's Williams, the pitcher, being pinch ran for at 1st, and Robinson's first pitch is strike number 1 to the pinch hitter here. That is Deshaun Williams. I don't believe that's Deshaun Williams. He's already batted, and he drove in, or he got hit by a pitch, or he drove in the winning run. We're all over the place trying to figure it out. That's a 3 at the plate. That is listed as Deshaun Williams on the roster. This is supposed to be Deshaun King's spot. King was initially number 3.
We're all types of confused up here.
Doesn't matter. There's a guy at the plate. There's 2 guys on, and it's a 1-2 count. Robinson's done good work so far.
Guardians coach is telling the outfield to play very shallow.
Strike away from getting out of it. Robinson, the youngest guy in the bunch, goes upstairs. He gets through the glove of Toom. He tries diving home. There's a score. Royster slides in. It is 3-1 Detroit.
And what a jump by Royster. Ryan, you said it. He didn't do much to move, and he just had a mind-blowing jump to get under the diving tag of Sam Robinson. He went full tilt on that.
Robinson missed 1 pitch, and it cost him a run.
He was trying to be Superman out there.
And now it's 3-1. There's 2 guys in scoring position on a 2-2 count. We're still 1 pitch away from getting out of it. Robinson got him for strike 3. So Sammy keeps it close. Detroit tack on 2, and, well, the Guardians are going to need to do some work. They've got a chance again to walk it off. It's 3-1 Detroit, bottom of the 6th on the way. Half an inning away. Detroit up 3-1. 3 outs away from a 2-0 day on the second day after they went 0-2 on day one. The Guardians on the flip side trail by 2, have out-hit their rivals to the north, and need 3 runs to win it, book themselves a spot in a championship game. 2 to play more baseball after this. It's 4, 5, and 6, Figueroa, Walker, and Herrera. The same 3 guys that were able to put the run across the plate in the 4th, and now they have Jack Burke starting on second, Ryan Sikora, Austin Kroon.
And they're giving it to the sturdiest bat so far in this one, Figueroa. He singled in the 1st and in the 4th and came around to score. And you got that free runner in Burke. And Ryan, you said it. You need 3 to win, 2 to tie. You could definitely do it here with something into the outfield.
Figueroa slaps one foul down the right field line. He's the only guy to score today for the Guardians. And it is still Davion Williams, the hard-throwing, lanky big man on the bump. Swing and a miss from Figueroa. It's 0-2.
And Ryan, we talked about it. When you're getting a guy like Figueroa, if he sends it into the outfield and it's really far away, he could definitely run all the way around. But he was just fooled and almost swung out of his shoes on that one from Williams.
That one gets away. Burke's on his way to third, and he's going to stand up 90 feet away, nobody out. And this is the beauty and the joy of starting with a guy on second.
Never know what you're going to get. Those errant throws in a normal AB with nobody on, you can just let him go past. Oh, it's a ball, no need to worry. Jack Burke is going to make you worry after that wild pitch.
1-2 to Figueroa. And that's a great catch behind home plate from the new catcher. Zaire Clements, who started at second base in the last game. Was surprised to not see him feature in the starting lineup today, but he gets in eventually. Maybe this was always the grand plan for Detroit.
Maybe they were 4 steps ahead.
It's 2-2 after back-to-back balls. Figueroa takes ball 3. That's tough to lay off of, but we go full with a runner on third with nobody out. (3-1) Detroit. They've been here for 11 hours. You gotta love ball to do that. Davion Williams, Day-Day. Taking his time from the first base side of the rubber. The payoff from the flamethrower. Hit hard towards second base. The runner running on contact as he should, and that's a sacrifice 4-3 to score Jack Burke. It's a 1-run ball game.
It's a 1-run ball game, but luckily for the Tigers, the fact that you were able to get Ace Royster in, now it seems so much more prevalent to help with that lead. And Ryan, you will gladly take that run for an out. There's only 2 more.
And with 1 out, now the bases for the first time are empty in the bottom of the 6th. Caleb Walker 0 for 2 today. It's on him. And he takes strike number 1 on the first offering. If Walker can get on, Joyangel Herrera, who is 2 for 2 today, is on deck. That one's a little low. Herrera represents the winning run. The man at the plate would tie it. The left fielder, Walker. Class of 23, committed to Augustana in South Dakota, is Caleb Walker. 1-1. That one just a little tall.
And now Davion Williams is going into his duffel bag and using multiple different windups and pitch releases. Saw him do this yesterday in the game against the Cubs. It's just trying to get the timing of the batters off, and especially with Joyangel Rivera coming up 2 for 2. If he starts doing them now, could be some mind games up once he's finally in the dish.
Unloading the tank. Number 4, the ace for Tigers Nike RBI. The 2-1 is low, and it's 3-1. It's a rinse and repeat of yesterday's contest. A 3-2 Guardians win. Down the stretch, it got close, it got cutthroat. Here's the 3-1 with one away. Williams to Walker. Now Williams takes a step off, steps back on almost immediately. 3-1. Hit high into the night sky of Chicago. These are tough to track. It's going to be in fair territory, and that's a tough one to play. But Jordan Jones makes the grab, and the Tigers are one massive out away.
And the haze and the lights didn't affect Jordan Jones on that one. He was ranged and dialed in on that ball. He could probably see every single stitch as it fell into his leather.
And it comes down to the designated hitter, Joyangel Herrera. 2 for 2 today with a pair of singles. A 3-2 lead for Detroit. Flip the script from yesterday's thriller. And Davion Williams goes to the Nestor Cortez, hook it twice, and gets strike number 1. 0-1. Does it again. Swing and a miss. 1 strike away, Detroit, from a 2-0 day on Saturday. They've enjoyed their time at Granderson on day number 3. And they can put the Cubs and the Sox in a crosstown classic tomorrow morning to play for the championship. The 0-2 from Williams. Outside. 1 swing of the bat can decide it. Williams, who caught the first couple of innings, has come in relief, has a chance to close it out. Did he catch the zone? No, it's 2-2 with 2 away.
And Williams might be trying a bit too hard here, Ryan. He's just got to force the batter, being Rivera, to beat him to the spot. No reason not to. He's a flamethrower. Put it down the middle.
And here's the captain, Cole Waterman. We've loved watching him play this weekend. Just talking to Davion, letting him know they're all there, and he's got to just keep calm, keep moving on, and stay relaxed. 2-2 for the Tigers, trying to close this one out. Swing and a miss. Down goes Cleveland, and Detroit upset the Guardians, go 2-0 on pool play day 2. Davion Williams in relief, phenomenal. Jordan Jones gets the winning or tying run in extras. And it's all about Ace Royster, the pinch hitter, who comes across, gets the 3rd run, and the Tigers claim the crown to close us out on Saturday night.
And it wasn't the Motown Mash Fest that you normally see from a team up north. But in this spot, they're pitching locked in, and they had the most crucial ABs, pitching performances, and go-ahead advantage move-ups that I've seen all tournament.
Not to be forgotten in all the glory of the extra late games, but E.J. Gregory, phenomenal in these 2 games today. He opened us up and had the crucial RBI triple that got everything going.
And when you start off and set the tone like that, that RBI triple was in the 3rd. From that point forward, you knew that 1-run cushion was not going to be enough. But Ryan, the fact that they were getting the gears turning at that point, it was halfway through. There had to be a wake-up at one point, and Gregory was the man to hit the alarm clock.
And we'll see how it shapes out, but as of right now, it's White Sox and it's Cubs tomorrow morning early. The winner gets a 4-0 Cincinnati in the championship game. The final standings after Saturday look like this. The Royals Nike RBI team go 0-4. They close themselves out. The White Sox are 1-1-1. They have a chance to still jump everybody tomorrow. The Guardians close at 2-2. The Cubs are 1-1-1. They have a chance to win it and go to the ship tomorrow. The Tigers are 2-2-2. The Twins are 2-2. And Indianapolis is 2-2. So that's why the Twins have taken themselves out. They fell in defeat today, and it's a crosstown classic for the right to play the Reds in the championship game.
And so much is going on, Ryan. That makes sense why it was so confusing on what's going to happen. The only non-confusing thing, the Detroit Tigers showed their dominance today, and it's going to rain through tomorrow for Championship Sunday.
Sox Cubs tomorrow morning. Quickly.
Going to be a fun one.
Who you got?
I got the Cubs.
Austin's taking the Cubs. I'm going to stay down the middle. Final score from this one, 3-2, a thrilling win for Detroit. They go back north with an undefeated day 2 for Henry Domini, our producer, for Kevin Malater, my boss, and for Austin Kroom, my partner today, Ryan Sikora. It's a 3-2 win for Detroit. Who would have thunk it at the beginning of the day?